of and empathy for the people who would become future users of Apple products, devices like the iPad that would make our hearts sing. As Hovey said, Jobs connected the dots and was brilliant at figuring out what the computer ought to be for the rest of us. Steve Jobs was what I call a difference thinker. Difference thinking is more than the ability to connect the dots, though. It's about seeing the truth, recognizing the opportunity in that truth, and then acting on it. You need to learn how to see the dots and understand the significance of connecting them before you can begin. And you can do that only by identifying with and understanding somebody else's feelings and frustrations. That's what Steve Jobs did intuitively. He had the ability to stand in a potential user's shoes and understand the impact that an innovation and its design might have on that person's life, and thus in the market. This is something you can train yourself to do too. Being different versus creating difference. Business has traditionally seen innovation as something that is incremental. We constantly strive to be different from or to outdo the competition. So we build on what already exists to either create big changes or make small improvements. We tweak, give a little bit extra, and perhaps add one more feature, and then we figure out ways to get people to notice how we're different so we can convince them to buy our products and services. This thinking has led us to bring things to market in a way that looks something like this: idea, develop, launch, market. In contrast, difference thinkers don't begin with the idea and think in increments of improvement. They start with empathy. This gives them the ability to take what is and understand what could be. The product or service that is born from creating difference in this way is the marketing. An idea developed with difference thinking looks like this: truth, people, idea, launch. This is how the now ubiquitous, humble shopping cart was invented and adopted 80 years ago. Sylvan Goldman, a grocery store owner from Oklahoma, noticed that when his customers' baskets became too heavy or too full, people stopped shopping. Clearly, their problem was his problem too. He began to think of ways to improve the experience for his customers. In 1936, he came up with the idea of a basket carrier on wheels. The concept was developed from the simple idea of using a folding chair as a framework to carry two baskets. A year and several iterations later, Goldman launched the new folding basket carrier in his stores. The strange thing was that even though it was designed to make their lives easier, customers hated the shopping cart. They didn't warm to using it at all. Men worried that it would make them look weak if they didn't haul a heavy load of groceries. Young women thought that the carts were unfashionable, and older people didn't want to appear helpless by using them. Mr. Goldman was not one to give up on an idea, so he took a step back. He considered his customers' worldview and thought about what might change how people felt about using shopping carts. Next, he hired models of both sexes and all ages to push shopping carts around his store as if they were shopping. He also hired a friendly store greeter who would offer carts to people as they arrived, pointing out that everyone was using them. And the rest, as they say, is history. Just 3 years later, the shopping cart was so cemented in American culture that it appeared on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post, and supermarkets were redesigned to accommodate its use. I wonder what Mr. Goldman would think if he could see the impact of his invention today. How times have changed. Now every modern man, my husband included, knows that driving the shopping cart frees you to make more impulse buys at speed when you go out to buy forgotten milk at 8 p.m. And the shopping cart symbol has become so universally representative of the buying experience that it's how we know we're shopping even when we're buying online with our feet up on the sofa. We've been conditioned to believe that the way to succeed is to have an advantage, to be different or better. But what does it mean to be different? It means raising the bar, being one step ahead, standing out because you're incrementally better than the competition, at least until the competition gets a step ahead of you. Ultimately, though, it means being on the same page and in the same category as that competition. Creating difference, on the other hand, is about seeing things in a whole new light. It's about reimagining what the problem or the need might be, and then deciding that you will do whatever it takes